So all this video is just a little bit of planing. I'm just going to set my light up so I'm behind the camera. Just pop this on a sec. Not too bright. Most prob. Pop that up there. Lovely. Not very good. So look. How are you, Thomas? Night, Tom. Nice to see you. Caught me as I'm about to head home. I'll miss the live, but we'll catch up tonight. That's all right, Tom. Nice of you to comment on there, mate. Nice to see you again. I hope you caught up on yesterday's live. Making a bit of progress on this box now, which I'm going to carry on with tomorrow. So yeah, this video, we're just planing a little bit of oak, everyone. Now, I put a ceiling in the house. It's capped. The dog absolutely ruined it, running in and out of the garden, and I decided to tile it. So, what we're going to try and do, I'm going to try and rescue some of this now, and then obviously I can repurpose all this timber, and we can get a nice couple of oak boxes made out of this. I should have plenty of timber for that. But what shocked me is how much this have capped. So I've got to try and plane this out on the thicknesser. I'm not too worried I can make smaller boxes. I was never entirely happy with this shelf because I used 2 different pieces of oak and it just looked awful. I never liked that job anyway. So we've ripped it out and we're replacing. Some things we make we don't like, everyone. It happens, but there we go. So yeah, Tom, yeah, it will be uploaded, this live. I don't play the radio in here, as you know. I do miss my radio when I'm on live because it does seem very odd talking to yourself on camera. But we're just going to set this up, get some planing done, and then I can crack on with some nice work tomorrow then. But I am looking forward to seeing this purple heart box finished off tomorrow. So that's why we're planing the oak down, because what I'm going to do with the oak is I'm going to cut the lid off the purple heart box, and then I'm going to line just the inside perimeter of the box in oak, so it's got a little lip for the lid to sit on. Now, a lot of people do a lot of different lids, but I want to go down that road. I want to clad it all in oak. I think it's going to look nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then we're just waiting for a bit of light then. But I will tell you now, this box, since it's been sitting here all day, I have wet in mine, that's why it is starting to turn purple again. So I think where someone mentioned before about LED lighting, for some odd reason, this is starting to turn purple. So anyway, enough of the box. We're getting back onto that tomorrow. I'm just going to set this up and then we can carry on with a bit of planing. Talking to yourself is fine. Just make sure you don't answer back. I always answer myself, Tom. I don't know why I do it, but we do. So yeah, anyway, nice to see you again and thank you for being the first member on the channel. We haven't got any other members yet, but I'm hoping to get a few more, so we'll just see how that goes. So yeah, we're gonna plane up some oak. We're gonna see what I can do with this. I haven't got a jointer, as a lot of you know. So the way I'm gonna go about this, because this timber here is cupped in this direction. So I'm hoping, spin it that way, take a couple of mil off the top, and then turn it back, and then hopefully catch the sides and see if I can flatten it off. But I think I can certainly get a couple of oak boxes out of this, so we will see. But I am hoping this year, I am going to try and buy myself a jointer, because I got my eyes on that DeWalt one, and I do fancy that. Good couple of grand, mine, but I think it's a good investment. So yeah, I'm just going to set the planer up now. We can crack on with this live, and everyone. And in between, I will drink my tea. So right, just get the hose connected up here. Obviously, I've been quite busy this weekend. I didn't realise how much work one of these little boxes can take. Obviously, cutting the sides and fitting the what they call the splines or whatever they're called. That was a lot of work. But you can make a box as complicated as you want or as easy as you want. But I've gone down the hard route and I'm nearly there now, everyone. So I'm happy with that. And sadly, we haven't done a lot of filming on that box. Because I've done the box on a live, haven't I? So I doubt I'll be able to post that. I have taken a couple of videos on it today, but we'll see how it goes. Because at the moment in this room, I've got a bit of bad light. And in the day it's hard. So I got some new lighting coming, which I think is coming on Monday. So I'm going to get my lights installed in there now by the weekend. And we should have some good lights for all the videos then, everyone. So you will see a big improvement. And obviously on the channel, for those of you who are following the channel, you're probably seeing the pictures you click on to view the videos, all that's changing because I've been trying out some new editing skills and everything. So yeah, I'm trying a lot of different things. It's all practice, everyone, and we will get there. So I'm just trying to find out what works best for the channel, and then we'll stick with that then. So anyway, yeah, let's crack on with this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to follow the jobs all the way to the end, like we just say. And I'll get this set up now, and then we'll crack on with a bit of planing. Right, I think we're good to go. Let's have a look. So I've got a little bit of oak I'd like to plane as well. Some pieces here. Now, I've gone through all of my... And the thing is, see, what we do, you get a little offcut, and you never want to throw it away. I got a lovely Triton jointer, second hand, for £150. It's amazing and great foot in the door. I'll have to have a look at them, Tom, if you're recommending it. The Triton jointer, that's screw fix, that, isn't it? That's a screw fix job. So yeah, we're going to plane down a bit of oak. All of these are offcuts from previous jobs and everything I've made. And I'm going to turn all of this into nice shaker panels. And we're actually going to make a shaker box as well. So I'm looking forward to that one. I think that's going to look nice. Because I'll tie in with all the oak shaker things that I've made on this channel. And I'm certainly going to try out and have a look at that Triton jointer, Tom. Because what's the point of me chucking a couple of grand away on a DeWalt one? And I'll have a look at that, actually. I don't want nothing fancy. I just want something I can do about 250 to 300 mil wide. Job done. That's all I'm looking for. Because I am struggling with a planer. Obviously, those of you getting into woodworking, these things don't flatten. And that's the problem with them. They do not flatten. So if something's got a bow in it like this, and you send it through the planer, the rollers will press down. It'll plane it, but it'll plane the bow, and it'll still keep the bow in there. I've been using a few different techniques, and I managed to flatten quite a lot of timber through this. I done the technique that you used the other day. You have a sheet of ply, you put your timber on, you pack your timber with wedges, and then send it through. And funny enough, I used that technique on the Purple Heart because that was twisted and I managed to get that looking nice then, so I was happy with that. But yeah, there's loads of different ways of flattening, but as Tom mentioned on ya, a jointer is the way to do it. What's that? It's saying I had a sticker on ya. It's all changing there, these lives and everything. Right, anyway, let's crack on. Here goes. Let's have a look at this timber. We've got all different sizes here, see? So when I just plane all these down to get them all to the same size, pick something in between and job done. And it is all different oak. I got some pippy oak by here, which is nice. This is a hell of a lot heavier than this. Mind that there's a big difference in weight there. There's some obviously different colours here. People don't like that, and customers, I don't mind. Wood is wood, timber is timber. Don't think I'll go down to that size. I might do. So yeah, we're just going to plane this now, everyone, and see what timber I can use out of this then. But sadly, when you get into woodworking, the hardest thing is chucking something away. You always think you're going to use it, and especially if it's hardwood, because it costs you a small fortune to pick it up. My jointer is only 150mm, but it's fabulous. I use your techniques too. My planer is 13 inches. But the more we have, the more we want. I know, Tom, it's never ending when you're buying tools. It's the same when I was looking at a planer, I did want as an American one, a DeWalt one, which is wider, it's not sold in the UK. And that's the one I wanted. And when we get fixated on these things, we want to buy something. And sadly, I couldn't pick up the DeWalt one because I realised it was an American planer. And then I settled with this. But this has been great. But we all think these tools, we've got to have a certain one. But when you settle with something else, sometimes you find they're just as good. And I am dying for a jointer. I've been saying this for 2 years now, so I think it's best I do invest in a jointer. And it certainly would make my life a lot easier as well. So we're going to plane up this oak now. Let's crack on with this. Put your earplugs in. You don't know if you've got your dust extractor on, so you've got to be careful. Right, so it looks like we're good to go on this. We'll get this planed up now. Seems to be firing out a bit of mess. Yeah, I'll catch you later, Tom. look. As you can see, we've got some lovely pieces of oak. I've had this lying around for a couple of years now. I remember this was bought for a job, but the customer didn't like all the pippy pieces, which I'm a fan of, and I've just kept it because they were just offcuts. But it's a lovely colour brown on this. So that's certainly getting used in the next project. Like I said, I got some lighter oak here. It's all different. That's pretty much, that's similar to that. Looks nice. It's got the same sort of grain. I love the fact it's got a bit of darkness running up there and there's a bit of light running through the middle. But all of these have got little cracks and splits on them. It's not perfect, but you know what? It's still a solid piece of wood. So it's going to certainly make a nice box for me, and that's what I'm going to be using. So we're just going to take another couple of passes on these now. I need to plane all of these to the same thickness, and then I'm just going to turn them to the side and just get them all to the same dimensions then. So then they're usable pieces of timber for my next project, and that's something that I've done that I've got lying about. And you've never got all you need is shed loads of time to be doing this. So this is why I'm doing the odd lie, planing it down, trying to get something done, because these things just build up and build up on now. You don't want to chuck it away because you know it's nice timber and it costs a fortune to buy anyway. So yeah, we're going to plane this down now. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. Don't forget to like the live if you want to follow the making of the boxes and everything. So we could probably be jumping back on here tomorrow. Probably about 2 lives tomorrow coming, I'd say. And we'll crack on with that. Can't even spit it out today. Right, what do I need? One of these. Right, so we've had some bad oak. This is starting to get nice and flat now. She's got a slight twist to her, so I'm not too bothered by, because it's going to make a nice oak box. But here's the problem of it. I don't know if you can see, it's got one hell of a cup in there, and that's what we're trying to plane out. Not the right way of doing it, mind, on a thicknesser, but the way I like to do it, when I put it through the thicknesser, I'll put the cup facing upwards, plane the top off. As you could see when we were planing, we was only taking timber from the middle, and then the planer slowly works his way to the edges. Once I've got this side flat now, I'll turn it around, because the timber slightly raises like this on the other side, and we should be able to plane the two sides down to get something that's reasonable flat. Now, it's the best way of doing it with a thicknesser. It's the best way I find of doing it. If you just watch this technique, maybe you can use it yourselves then, but that's the best way. I get a cup out of a timber using a thicknesser. Not the right tool, but it works. I'm just going to have my cup of tea a sec, everyone, and then I'll carry on planing this. So you'll see the difference in these two timbers now. Let me try and get a side view for you, so you can see what I'm going on about. Right, there we go. Now you're going to be able to see what I'm on about. There's the two timbers. Can you see that? Right down the middle there. See the gap in the middle? This is becoming nice and flat now on top. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for me to work with. But this timber is bowed this way. See, we've got a cup, and this one is the other way. So like I said, I'm taking the highest point off through the middle and flattening this area across here. Then I'm spinning it, so where it is cupped like this, it turns the other way, so the cup's facing up, but then we've got a flat side. So I'm going to take the two sides off, and we should be left with an half-decent board that I could make something out of. Now, without a jointer, this is the best way I find of flattening off. But you can see the work I've just done on this top board, and you'll probably be able to see it on camera. Let me show you. You can see this is quite flat now here. See the state of this timber underneath? Now this timber, the one underneath, was exactly the same as the one on top. So I will turn this top board around now, and we'll take off this side, and work the planer until we get into the middle here, and we should have something half decent to work with then. So that's what I'm trying to do, right? Like I said, it's not the right way of doing it, but if you have only got a thicknesser, it's the only choice you've got, and it's the best way I go about doing it. I wouldn't recommend putting the timber in with a cup facing up to start with, because of the bow in the middle, because it could tip it like this as it's going through, and it could cause you a bit of a nightmare. This is the way I normally do it. I get half decent results from it, and this is the way I've always done it. So if you just try that method, maybe it'll work for you as well. Well, it will work, because it works for me. So there we go. I'm just going to send this through for another pass. I do love oak, mind. It's a beautiful looking piece of timber. I wasn't happy when I made this piece, because that doesn't look like this anyway. But there we go, look at that. We've got a fabulous piece of wood there. It smells beautiful as well. I love the smell of oak. It's one of my favourite timbers. So yeah, we're going to crack on. I'm happy with that. I'm going to proceed with this method, and then we'll get all these planed up, and then I got some beautiful timber to work with then. And next weekend then we'll be making some oak boxes on you then, and they're going to be my first attempt of oak boxes, so stay tuned for all that. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well if you want to follow this channel, because I am trying to do a live every week. I know a lot of you don't see me doing a live every week, but I do try. So we're going to carry on with this now. I'm going to have my cup of tea a sec before it goes stone cold, and then we're going to carry on planing up some of this oak timber then. But yeah, that's working. I'm happy with that. It is looking good. Right, let's plane this up. Oh, right. Let me just put a straight edge across here now to see how flat this is. It wasn't too bad when I just checked him. You know what? She is not bad. It's in with about half a mil, that I'd say. If that, I can work with that. Not looking too bad. I don't know if I got a twist in it. I think she's got a bit of a twist. It looks like it's playing a bit more out of the middle. So, obviously when I make a board, I'm going to pick the best pieces, get them cut to size, and then I'll send those smaller pieces through the planer, and then hopefully we'll be able to flatten them off then. But anyway, this is going to be cut down. This is going to go all the way down to about 8 mil thick. This is. I will cut the size and then plane down to 8 mil, because this board, the worst one out of the two, is going to be used for a liner for the purple heart box that we made. So I'm not too bothered by it, but it's certainly a hell of a lot better than what it was. In fact, it's perfect compared to what it was. Then they'll take off the two sides now. Right, so I hope you can see that now, because I said we flattened the bottom side of the timber off. Now I've sent it through because we got the cup going upwards like this. We are now taking the two sides off. So we're getting some sort of half-decent timber to work with here. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's certainly one hell of a lot better than what it was before. So I'm going to settle with that now. We'll keep passing this through. As you can see, these two sides are higher. And then I should be left with some reasonable stock to work with. But I don't care, because I only need 8 mil thick timber anyway. So it's going well. We will carry on now, and we will take off these two sides until I get to the centre over there. So you just watch each pass on here now, and you'll see these increasing till we get to the centre of this timber. And then we should have something half decent, reasonable flat. Obviously it's not a jointer, it's a thicknesser machine. So it'll be half decent for me to work with. Right, so we got some half decent looking timber out of this. Now we're just going to check it. This is what we started with. Whoop. Something that was really capped, as you can see. I'm hoping you can see that in a video there. Tell me if you can't. Tell me where you're from as well. Don't forget to like this live feed as well, so you'll be notified of the next one. So anyway, yeah, what was I going to say? We're going to have a look to see how flat it was. That's what I was doing. This one's getting planed down to about 8mm thick because it's going to be used on another project. We're just checking to see how flat that is now. And you know what? That's pretty much bang on. Let me just show you. I'm hoping you can see this on camera now, just so you can see the way I've been doing this. So I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it now? It's hard to get the camera angle for you, but that's turned out quite flat now, so I'm well happy with that. I've got a beautiful piece of timber over there. I'm going to spin him around again now and go over the other side as well. But this is the way to do it. So if you just follow these techniques, if you're planning on planing some timber, or you think it's scrap, it isn't. If you haven't got a jointer and you've got a nice capped piece of timber, just do as I said. Put the cap bending upwards to start. Take the centre out, plane it all the way down until you see the plane has hit all the sides. That will become flat. That turns around. Plane the two sides out until it comes back into the middle, and then you're left with something half decent to work with for your next project. It works. It's a method I use. It works for me. It will work for you. So try it out yourselves. I'm going to carry on planing these now, because I'm happy that I've rescued this bit of timber and I've got something nice that I can make a box out of now. So let me just crack on with this, everyone. Don't forget to say where you're from. I know there's a couple of you on here. Drop in the comments to say where you're from. Don't forget to like the live feed as well. That will help me out. If you like what you see, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you want to follow these lives in the future with the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I am going live as well. But you've got to subscribe to be notified with that. Right, so let's crack on. You love your Makita tools, do you, Michael? Nice to see you anyway. So yeah, it's a lovely planer. We're just trying to flatten out some of this timber, which we have done. So I'll just carry on with this now. I got to get this timber down to 8 mil. It is a good planer. Thank you very much, Michael, for the comment. Yeah, enjoy, Michael. I am enjoying my day. I'm happy now. I'm rescuing some timber and we're going to use this for our box. But I am missing the timber that I wanted to make this. Where are we at? About 13 mil. So I'm going to plane this down. I think we're going to go to about 10, maybe 8 mil on here. It's coming along nice. It's lovely and flat. We've actually rescued this one. It is absolutely perfect. So I'm happy with that. And then we've got to sort out this one, because this was the state they were in. For those of you who's just joined, can you see the massive cup in that timber there? You should be able to see it on camera. Let me bring you in so you can see. That was the state of the timber on the top blocks yet. And we planed it down and sorted it out, ready for me to make a box. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to carry on with this now and get this all planed down. And then obviously we can end the live, but it won't be just yet. We'll be another 10-15 minutes here. So there you have it, everyone. We started off. I'm going to keep this one because I'll make a video tomorrow and get that posted on my channel as well, just to show how we get a cup timber, like so, to a nice, flat, straight piece of workable material. So I'm happy with that. We've got a beautiful piece of wood now. I can use this to do my inlays. So I just wanted to see how flat it is. Let's just bring you in on here now. Come a little bit closer, 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 come closer. There we go. Now you can see. God, what do you like? Right, so here we go, right? There is the timber. Here's the bottom one. Cupped. One hell of a mess. Hell of a cup in it. Obviously, you can see the gap between these two timbers. And here's the straight edge. Let's get you in just to prove a point here. Whoop. That is it. Can you see that? Absolutely spot on. Thank you for hitting the like button then, because you can see the sort of work I've put in here. Now you can see it. So don't forget, like, subscribe, like the live video. I have just shown you how to plane a cup timber to a flat, workable piece of wood that you can use for one of your projects. Now, do these simple steps. Like I said, you can see the cup is facing upwards here. Turn that timber around, put it through your planers. It'll start cutting the middle section out. And when it gets to the end, turn it around the other way. And then you should have some good usable stock. Obviously, I've planed this all the way down to about 9 mil, 8 to 9 mil. I've done this because this is for a project that I need it for. So I could have landed up with about 18 mil timber out of this, I'd say. So yeah, we got something good out of it. I'm going to keep the other piece. I will do another video in the morning. Get that posted on the channel. For those of you who's missed out on the live, you can obviously see how to do that. It's a nice technique. It works. I've got some beautiful wood. It is a stunning piece of oak, mind. I do like it. It's got some lovely character. Obviously, this is where we jointed it before on another job. I didn't like that piece anyway. I'm going to be using this for my inlays in my box. And on my inlays, what is this? It's going to be a lining for the side of my box. But yeah, beautiful piece of wood. You can see the Festool dominoes by here that we used on a job. Oddly, they don't go all the way in, look. But they're solid. Look at it. There's the joint, the Festool done. Absolutely perfect. Nothing wrong with that. Even though we're 8 mil thick, it's still solid and it's still holding, yeah? So that's how good the domino is. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I got a beautiful piece of wood I can start work with tomorrow. Get that one planed up, get that video posted here so we got a reminder on how to do that. I'm going to shoot off now. I'm going to have a bath and a bit of grub, and I'll see you on the next video.